But yeah, guys, quick thoughts about the torch, man. You know, passing of the torch is very important. It's not one of those things where you think that, because there's too many fighters, man, that they go in and they fight somebody that they know damn well that don't really have a chance of beating them. You know, I mean, you get tired of seeing fights like that. That's why a lot of times people in the U.S. are running the UFC. Because UFC, they have a system of interest. You know, they care about fans. They care about what fans think. They got a nice ranking system. It's pretty much ran by one person. You know, and then they get the fights that need to be made. That's why they keep coming. You know, and you look at Buffalo Wild Wings, Walk-Ons, you know, Twin Peaks, you will see on Saturday nights, those places will be packed because people want to see the best, because they're given the best possible fights that they can match at that time. Boxing, they have a fight, oh, you got to let it build, and this, that, and the other. This is a boxing game, and then you have sanctioning bodies and all this. But then most of the time, these guys are fighting boxers that they know that they're a lot better than. Every so often in boxing, you'll have a Jeff Horn, Manny Pacquiao, or a Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson, you know, or just something that happens, a Terry Norris, Keith Mullins, you know, things like that. Guys that didn't ever supposed to beat the supreme guy, you know. And matchmaking happens, you know, when they get a fight in there, and you know, and then they end up fighting. But that's the beauty about boxing, though, when those things happen. But it's very far few in between, where you got a guy and then they pick a guy out of a hat, supposedly, and put him in there with the man, you know, and that guy ends up just dominating or knocking out this nobody guy that they picked out of a hat. So, you know, that normally happens. But no, if you're gonna fight somebody, you're gonna fight somebody up until the point you can't fight the elite guys anymore. You know, boxing has changed a lot. That's why most guys, you know, you see how these fights take so long to get made, like the Joshua Wilder fight, because they know somebody's gonna lose, because these guys have never lost. So it is hesitation, and I think it's hesitation on both sides. I believe that, because there's no way you turn down $12.5 million because of what? Then turn around, only to turn around and say, oh, I agree to whatever you want me to do. And then on this, there's no way that you will say, hey, I'll take $50 million and we'll fight tomorrow. And then you don't end up fighting tomorrow when the $50 million is introduced because of what you said. So, no, it's hesitance, because these guys know that they both got a lot on the line, and then whoever loses will be lost. And that's the whole gist of it. That's it, man. I mean, that's what it is. So, you know, boxing is one of them things, you know, the boxers that get in there and they know a guy has skill, because they both have skill. You look at like Canelo. You know, Canelo went in there to fight Mayweather. Mayweather schooled him. You know, now that was the one time Mayweather in his later years showed that he was the man by beating Canelo. But the thing about it, beating Canelo, the only reason he wanted to fight Canelo was because Canelo had that Mexican fan base. That was it. So he was interested in money, you know. But if he was really worried about legacy and wanted to prove that he was the best boxer alive, he would have fought a Cuban. See what I'm saying? He would have fought Lara, the guy that, oh, no, everyone thinks that Lara, if you weren't Mexican now, like a lot of Mexicans are biased because they're going to go for the countryman. I get it, but, you know, and then they like cockfighting. They like exciting, you know, Barrera Morales fights. I like them too. I'm not just saying I don't like them, but I respect all aspects of boxers. I know guys that like to box, pure boxers, boxer punchers, brawlers, you know, counter punchers, certain, you know, different aspects of what you can do in that ring. And I love it all, and I can respect it all. But some people don't. If you're not exchanging punches, that'll put a Mexican to sleep, or someone like that, because they're used to guys, again, like cockfighting. They used to, guys just duking it out, which is exciting, but that's not really realistic, and everyone's not going to fight like that. And if they did fight like that, they would have all kind of health problems, concussions, brain swelling, coma, death, etc. Because everyone is made a certain way. Not everyone's made alike. Not everyone's built like Julio Cesar Chavez, that can take punch after punch after punch and don't have any damage now later in his life, in his 50s. You know what I'm saying? Wilfredo Benitez, he's a vegetable. Pritchard Colon took a shot in the back of the head. He's a vegetable. So guys can't take certain punches because there's a reason why people fight, and there's a reason. That's the reason for defense. So no. But back to Floyd. If he wanted to prove he was the best, he was like, not only that, he praised Canelo. He gave Canelo a lot of respect after he beat Canelo, because he knew that even though he didn't beat Canelo, it was almost like an invisible torch was passed to Canelo because he fought him. It was kind of weird, you know what I mean? And Canelo continued being the up and coming star of the sport, behind Mayweather. When Mayweather left, and of course now he's number one or whatnot. So, but no, it's always something, and it's all about money when boxing. But besides the politics of it, the love of the sport, if you really wanted to see true fighters, I would have liked to see Floyd fight Lara. Then no one could say that he never fought a Cuban fighter. He never fought a pure boxer. Nobody could ever say that. Nobody could ever say that, hey, why didn't he fight Garcia? Why didn't he fight Porter? Why didn't he fight Thurman? No one ever said that. So Pacquiao, the same thing. Pacquiao is now trying to be more like Rocky Balboa in retrospect. He doesn't know when to quit, and he's fallen in the same trap of a lot of fighters, and it's sad to say, but he's doing that. But I think he really believes he's like a Filipino Rocky. You know what I mean? And it's sad though, because I don't want to see Manny Pacquiao hurt. I definitely don't want to see him knocked out again like he was in 2012 by Juan Manuel Marquez. And really, that was when Pacquiao was considered still in his prime for the most part. He had lost to Bradley, and then he took that knockout loss to Juan Manuel Marquez. So and that was scary. It was a scary day, man. When he got hit, and I didn't even really know. I mean, I saw the punch, but I didn't really see it until they slowed it down because it happened so fast. But no, I mean, you don't want to see guys hurt. But Floyd's smart. Quit when he's ahead. Because he didn't really do the things that it took for him to prove to everyone that he was the best. Besides just proclaiming himself the best just because. That's a slogan. That's just a slogan. Hey, TBE, I'm TBE. That's more like a banner. That's not because you really are the best. You're just saying you're the best. You make the most money, but that don't make you the best fighter. That's the difference. Mike Tyson made more than Holyfield did, but Holyfield would beat Tyson probably any day of the week. You know what I mean? So, because of the styles, okay? So, again, Floyd never proved that he was the best skill-wise. And he has beautiful skills, but mind you, the skills that he displayed against fighters, they were mostly slow, like Maidana, cement feet like Canelo. Who else? Victor Ortiz. I mean, who did he really fight? If you really think about it, who did he fight that you thought that, oh man, he might lose? You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when he got older, and when you get older, you're more vulnerable, but that doesn't mean you should stop fighting the best guys. It doesn't mean that you get a pass from fighting the best guys. I don't know why people say, well, I think he deserved it. No, I don't think he deserves to fight someone like Andre Berto. I don't. Like, why? Andre Berto has 4 losses on his record, and he's been beat by every guy that Floyd already beat. So why would you even fight that? Yes, this is a rant because it's stupid for people to think oh, well, it's okay for Floyd to fight Andre Berto on his last real fight, which is 49th win. It's okay. You know, when the guys that beat Berto were Guerrero. He already fought and beat Guerrero. Ortiz. He already beat Ortiz. You know, like, dude, why would you even bother? Because I guarantee you, when someone came to him with Lara and said, hey, won't you fight Lara for a 49th fight? You know what he said? Canelo already beat him and I beat Canelo. Now, he'll pull that triangle theory card for that, but he wouldn't pull it, you know, for in this instance against Berto, because Berto is an easier guy to fight. And, you know, well, I can take Berto and I can beat Berto. You know what I mean? So that type of stuff bothers me, man, you know, in the sport of boxing. You know, and back to Pacquiao, you know, Pacquiao should have fought Thurman when Thurman called out Pacquiao, and that would have been a good fight. If Thurman would have beat Pacquiao, all respect to Thurman and all respect to Pacquiao for taking the fight with Thurman, because that's what you're supposed to do when you're a champion, when you're on that elite level. And I do recall Manny Pacquiao being a champion, WBO. He got it from Jesse Vargas. Then he should have fought Keith Thurman with that fight. He could have fought Adrian Broner. That would have been a pretty good fight, but Adrian Broner has a few losses, you know, but he wasn't a top guy, you know. But yeah, man, it's a sad day in boxing, and it's a sad time in boxing right now, because the best guys in the sport didn't allow the torch to be properly passed on to the next generation. So now you got these guys that they're just there. Noticeable wins are who? Danny Garcia, what was his noticeable wins? Matisse, Khan, you know, like, there's no real, he beat Guerrero, but these guys are all in the same pool for the same reason. Danny Garcia lost, you know, he beat, he decision Porter, and, you know, he had other tough fights. Not in decision Porter, but Peterson. You know, he's going to fight Porter. And I think, honestly, Porter is going to lose. If Porter don't, like, knock out Danny Garcia is going to win on the scorecards. Because I don't see Porter winning a decision against Danny Garcia. I just don't see that. You know, that's my opinion. Because Danny Garcia has had some nods and some fights where I just scratch my head on. Like, well, wait a minute. Like the Peterson fight. You know, he came out of that fight busted up. Peterson put it on him. I think Peterson should have been a victor on that. And Peterson is a good fighter. You know, he's not the biggest welterweight, but he did do enough to beat Danny Garcia, though. You know, so it is what it is, man. You know, I mean, I just think that those guys should be more respectful to the generation below them and understand, like, okay, if you are the best at this point, don't pick lower opposition just to stay relevant. I guess just to, you know. Now, exhibition fights, that's different. Because if that's what they're doing, they should just say what they're doing. Like, for example, Floyd. Floyd should have just say, well, hey, this is my last fight and it's an exhibition fight. You know, don't try to build it up, because, you know, you fighting Berto is not a fight of importance. It never was. The only time it would have been important would be 5 years before, when Berto had no losses, when he was just quick speed fighter, kind of put you in the mind of a bigger Gary Russell Jr., because he was real fast. That's one thing about Berto. He's real quick, fast. And I used to like to see him fight. But, you know, and he got beat by some guys, and, you know, and then Floyd had his target on him then. So you got to remember that. But at the same token, I think Floyd should have fought more difficult fights in his career to prove that he was the best. I'm sorry, that's how I feel about it. And none of those guys get respect in my book like that. You know, you can be the best, but at the end of your career, you didn't go out on your shield. You went out, you hid, you know. You ran and hid from the biggest fights, from the best fights. You know, was that smarts? You know, I guess they learned, well, nah, I ain't getting in there and fighting these young dudes and they whoop my ass. That's what I know they're thinking, you know what I mean? That's why Pacquiao didn't take the Crawford fight. Come on. I would like to see him fight Lomachenko. You know what I mean? But I would have seen the same thing that Manny Pacquiao did to De La Hoya. Lama would have did to him. That's it. Anyway, guys, I'm just wrapping it up. You guys tell me what you think. You guys been counterpunched.